Hello, everyone. This is Dawn Reed, the Chief Coaching Officer of Reid Ready Life Coaching. And today I want to bring to you in this 5 minute or less masterclass or teleclass, however you want to define it, is the concept of if I could do it, you could do it. I've heard that constantly. I've heard that with people who do MLM type of businesses. I've heard this with people on commercials with, if I got my education, you can too. If I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, you can too. And I'm going to dispel that myth. That is really a delusion. And I'm going to tell you why it's a delusion. Think of it this way. Do you know all the people that I know? Do we share the same quality and quantity of networks? Do we have the same educational background? Do we have the same career experience? I'm going to say no. And even if we have similar backgrounds or similar upbringing, similar exposures to similar people, we still function in this world based upon our own point of view, our personal point of view. I've often used the analogy like typing. If I can type, like I type over 100 words per minute, and I would never tell someone else, well, if I type 100 words per minute, so could you if you just practice long enough. That's not necessarily the case. Your fingers aren't shaped like my fingers. So why would you be able to type as fast as I type? It doesn't make sense. All of these things come into play. Your physical, your emotional, your psychological, the motivation, all of these things come into play when we are trying to accomplish something. Now, I do have a caveat that if your heart is really into something and it's something that you really, really want, you will find a way to do something and you will adapt. You will adapt yourself or the condition to that thing that you're working toward or you want to do. But at the same time, you can't say that if I can do it, you can do it. It's just not true. And I think that that's one of those concepts that really hold a lot of people back, because then people start to question themselves where I'm doing something wrong, where there's something wrong with me because I can't get from point A to point B like my neighbor or like Janet or Joe or Bobby Joe or whatever. So the point that I'm trying to make is this: what's meant for you is meant for you. We're not all going to be able to achieve the same goals in the same way using the same tools. We all have our own networking circle of people. We all have our own motivation level. We all have our own internal mechanisms that allow us to make decisions and to achieve particular goals to help us obtain the things we want to obtain in life. So I say this in closing, before we tell people if I can do it, you can do it, or if that person can do it, so you could do it, let's step back from that. We all do not have the same things. We all have life, and we're all presented with choices. We all have those things. And what you do with your choices, what you do with your situation, is what's going to propel you from A to B and so on. But no, I would never tell anyone if I could do it, you can do it, because it's a delusion. You can do what you're meant to do. You're built and wired and connected to the resources that you have, and your resources and how you conceptualize your ability to do the things that you want to do and need to do comes from that. And that is what you can do, what you are meant to do. So I hope that information helps you today. Please feel free to subscribe to our videos, follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And please sign up for our members only page at reidreadycoaching.com and become a member of our site. Lots of free information there just for you. Have an awesome day.